So this week's episode of Arrow is titled Uprising, and it concludes the three-part Danny Brickwell storyline. One of the things that surprised me so much about this week was the emphasis on sort of Malcolm Merlyn's background story, which is pretty surprising. And all of the flashbacks this week showed us more of who Malcolm Merlyn was before he became the Dark Archer, and I actually enjoyed seeing that side of him. It was pretty cool. Plus, anytime we get to see more of John Barrowman on screen is just great in my book. Now, the primary dilemma that Team Arrow faces this episode is getting the Glades back after the ultimatum we saw Brickwell give during the episode Midnight City, where he tells all the police to flood out of the city or he's going to kill the other two aldermen that he has. Now, Merlyn actually discovers that Brickwell is responsible for killing his wife through means of Felicity tapping into the GCPD crime database, and obviously after figuring this stuff out, Malcolm goes to give out any type of help he can, but he really just wants to get any type of stab at Brickwell since he wants to kill him, and he goes to the Team Arrow because they share a common enemy. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We even get to see some familiar faces this episode, like Sin help out, and she was in season 2, I believe. She hasn't been in this season at all. So it's always nice to see characters like that come back. And plus, she was like sort of a fan favorite, you know. She was Sarah's friend in the Glades, I believe. And yeah, the whole ending fight sequence to this episode was very reminiscent of the Dark Knight Rises fight with all the people standing up against Bane's army, but in this case they're fighting against Brickwell's army. So that's cool to see something like that type of a scale happen on a television show because it takes all the extras and production value to do something like that, and I applaud them for that. But by far my favorite scene in this entire episode was the speech that Oliver gives when to the Glades when he finally does return in costume to Starling City, and it was just pretty awesome, and it pushed him one step closer to becoming the Green Arrow that we know from the comics. And I'm still holding out hope that they'll eventually give him the name Green Arrow. But one thing I did notice about this episode was the lack of Ray Palmer, but I guess he was just busy working on his Atom exosuit, so he didn't really have much to contribute. But anyways, I'd give this episode an 8.5 because I thought it was really good, and it's a great ending to a pretty solid story arc overall. And this is Nick signing off, until next week, guys.